Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a bunch of DC updates for you today. A lot more tinfoil for the Flash as well. But before we get into that, I'll have to thank my newest members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. 3 this time. Thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show. To Darius Emmanuel, Tyke 2006, and Krishna Murja. Thank you so much for joining. As members of the Ping Pong Flix Show, I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate all you other members and subscribers as well. Thank you very much. Now, let's get on with the topics of the day. The first topic of the day is, and this is actually a continuation of the last topic last show, because I forgot to include another winner at the Critics' Choice Super Awards, and that is Kaley Cuoco. Kaley Cuoco actually won a Critics' Choice Super Awards for her role as the animated Harley Quinn. So forgot about that one. I know I kind of glossed over it, and then I saw that later. I'm like, oh, I forgot about Kaley Cuoco. She's fantastic in The Flight Attendant. If you haven't seen that, that's over on HBO Max. It's a great mystery, a great thriller, and she is awesome in that little mini series right there. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2, but it's definitely a good one. All right, next up is a new showrunner has been chosen for Gotham PD HBO Max series. This is coming from Deadline Hollywood. It says creator Joe Barton is heading to Gotham to take over showrunning duties on HBO Max's The Batman. The British writer has joined the upcoming series as showrunner and exec producer following the departure of Terrence Winter in November. It was understood that the Boardwalk Empire creator left the series, which is a companion to Matt Reeves' feature The Batman, or over creative differences. Now they say they call it Batman, which is wrong. I think it's going to be called like something like Gotham PD or something, I would believe. But anyway, HBO Max gave a series commitment to the project last summer. It is designed to build upon the film's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, launching a new Batman universe across multiple platforms focused on the Gotham Police Department. The series will extend the world established in the movie and further explore the myriad complex characters of Gotham. Reeves said in August that the series is a prequel to his Batman Year 2 movie, while with the show set in Batman Year 1, when a masked vigilante starts to unsettle the city. The series will zero in on city's corruption that goes back many years and is told from the POV of a crooked cop, Reeves said in August. So I kind of guessed that. I didn't realize that part, that it is going to be a Batman Year 1 type of story, but through the POV of the cops, meaning they'll probably see like a shadow or like Batman standing up, and it's like, what is that? It's a giant bat or something like that. But that's fairly actually really intriguing. That's actually better than just another Gotham. Yes, this is Gotham, but at the POV, like if it was just Commissioner Gordon and we didn't know what Bruce Wayne was doing, like I think that would be a more compelling story, especially on HBO Max, where they could probably go mature, have a mature rating for that one. So that's Gotham PD HBO Max series. Glad to see that another person took over within the took over from Terrence Winter, who was the showrunner at that time. All right, now let's get in with the movies. The topic for movies is coming from Variety I want to talk about, and that is Hollywood prepares to delay more blockbusters. That's right. They're delaying more blockbusters. I mean, they have a list here. They plan to delay like James Bond, and Black Widow is kind of up in the air. I think recent news or talk is that Black Widow may actually go simultaneous release as well as what all the HBO Max is doing. Fast 9, I think Morbius has already been delayed to October 2021. I think it was supposed to come in March or May or something like that. So a lot of these films are just delaying, right? Guess what movies are not delaying? Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, they're looking like heroes right now. Like, yeah, they're not probably making as much money, although they're trying to pay all the producers and stars the amount of money that they would have got, which is weird. It's like you're paying them outright for something they'll probably never actually earn when it goes to the theaters, right? But whatever. They just wanted to get it out there, make some type of money, and in a way, you know what? Warner Brothers for all the flack that they got for doing this simultaneous release with HBO Max in theaters, they literally just saved theaters this year. Yeah, they saved theaters this year. All these other guys, distributors, are like, no, we're going to delay. We're not going to put it out in theaters. You know, we want to make the most buck. And they're hanging them to dry, right? Hanging them out to dry. Just like there's no catalogs for them. Yeah, there's going to be smaller films, but big blockbuster stuff, the ones that really drive people to the theaters, guess what happened when Wonder Woman 1984 came out? The stocks went up. The stocks for AMC went up, right? Was it Regal? I forget. I think it was the AMC. It went up. And it just goes to show that there was a lot more faith. There's a lot more hope when movie theaters get blockbuster, titles and show those blockbuster titles to get those people coming in to watch their movies. That's what and it's kind of funny how they try to really rag on Warner Brothers for doing the simultaneous release and things like that. But literally, they just saved them for the most part of this year. They just saved the theaters. So whether or not other studios, there was a question about whether Universal and all these other distributors will start pushing it towards either streaming, but looks like a lot of them are going to try to delay it right now because they want to wait until the vaccine gets more out there and things and so on and so forth. But from what I heard is, and I think there's some talk that Black Widow actually might be another movie that's going to come out like Wonder Woman 1884 on a simultaneous release. But probably the Mulan route where it's like premium on Disney Plus and not exactly free on Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus is not free, but you don't have to pay another $30 to watch something, right? Aside from, when Mulan came out. So it looks like they're going to try to do the same thing like how they did with the other Last Dragon, Raya, that dragon animated one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Good luck to them. But definitely, I think, it's COVID right now. It's a difficult situation. But, yeah, it's kind of weird how Warner Brothers, aside from what they've talked about HBO Max and things like that, they kind of just saved them a little bit because it's in theaters as well. So I thought that was an interesting article that came out today. All right, well, let's get back to DC. There is a bunch of Flash tinfoil that I'm going to share with you. Tinfoil, because this is not exactly confirmation or anything like that, but it gets you kind of thinking, not crazy, you could be crazy too, but kind of thinking about what could possibly be like, what is the producer Barbara Muschietti is trying to tell you about the Flash, right? Now this is coming from her Instagram post. Before I have to get into that, I have to put
your source on this. A tinfoil hat.
Yeah, tinfoil hat indeed. So put on that tinfoil hat and go along with me on this Flash journey. The Flash producer may have tinfoil for the fans. I want to give a shout out to DC Versal to putting this up together. So this is a picture that Barbara Muschietti had put out, and Andy Muschietti are wearing socks. And as you can see, there's a Flash sock here, and there's a reverse Flash sock here. So Andy and Barbara Muschietti with custom socks from Flash starts recording in April. And also Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, and Billy Crudup are confirmed in the cast. But is this her way of saying that there's going to be a reverse Flash in this? Now, we do know that Andy Muschietti started following, Grant Gustin and Tom Cavanaugh, the cast from the Flash TV series, Flash and Reverse Flash, although Tom Cavanaugh can also be Harrison Wells, and not exactly Eobard Thawne, but because there's so many versions of him. But if it is Eobard Thawne, then that is indeed a Reverse Flash. Now, later on, someone asked if this is a confirmation that there's Reverse Flash, and Barbara Muschietti does say, no, it's just where them getting socks. But you can't help but wonder that in a Flash movie, especially a Flash origin film, there is one villain that is prominent in a Flash movie or story or series, and that's Reverse Flash. Heck, even the Flash TV series had a Reverse Flash. So if Tom Cavanaugh is being followed by Andy Muschietti, you kind of wonder that are they kind of looping in these CW people, the CW cast to be a part of the Flash movie. And I even wonder, like someone asked, I forgot who posted, but like imagine a CW actor being directed by a Hollywood director. Could they really shine more? I mean, I think Tom Cavanaugh is one of the best actors on The Flash anyway, but imagine him being in a Hollywood production and being able to, like, the director can bring out a lot more acting out of him, right? And I think that would be pretty phenomenal. Or it's just a cameo of Reverse Flash. Maybe the real Reverse Flash talks to, just like how Flash will get to meet the other Flash, why not Reverse Flash meet the other Reverse Flash, right? But that's not all. There's a little bit more. Interesting. Producer Barbara Muschetti liked some comments in her most recent Instagram post. So there's a bunch of comments on an Instagram post they found, and I don't know how she saw they saw all this, but they started looking at which comments she liked, right? So she just liked all this, and just be aware that she's just liking them. Let's wait and see if this happens. But Jessica Chastain will be in the movie. She liked that. Maybe she thought, that's a great idea. We like working with her on It, Chapter 2. Let's bring her in somehow. We want Henry Cavill in The Flash. She liked that. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. Superman in the Flash movie. I'm all for it. My man, Henry Cavill, awesome. There was talk before that he was going to cameo in multiple DC films, and The Flash was one of those films, so that might likely be it. There's multiple Batmans, not a single Superman? I don't think so. I think there should be a Superman, and maybe Henry Cavill is one of that person. We need the Reverse Flash. You like that too? And I hope Ray Fisher be involved, or Ray Fisher is involved. She liked that too. Now, I remember talking about a while back where she just commented, or there was a fan who asked her if Cyborg's going to be in the movie, and she said, of course. That was true, because it came out in the Hollywood Reporter that at one point, at many points in time, Cyborg was written in the story, but the rap suggests that they're writing him out of the story because of his comments to Walter Hamada. Though Ray Fisher himself said that, as far as he knows, he hasn't been written out, right? He just said that he didn't want to work with Walter Hamada. What's up with that? I don't know. We'll wait and find out. But currently, Barbara Muschetti seems to still like the idea, at least in her Instagram, that she likes the idea of having Ray Fisher involved as Cyborg. So we'll see if any of these come true, but it does make me kind of really excited to see all this. Aside from maybe Jessica Chastain, unless it's a pivotal role, or I don't know what she could be. You know what? She could play Barry Allen's mom. She could play the mom, right? I think that would be a good role for her. And aside from them, I have no idea. There was rumors a long time ago that she would be the Reverse Flash, and I'm like, really? I don't know if that would. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, this is the whole tinfoil section. Make of it what you will, and at least discussion, speculation, it just gets us a little excited for the Flash movie. One more tinfoil here. And this is coming from the Snyderverse. She also liked this. Please don't kill or replace Ben Affleck's Batman in The Flash. She liked that. So I didn't think Ben Affleck's Batman was going to get killed. I also didn't think he was going to be replaced, because, he's still the Batman of a certain universe. I always believed that Michael Keaton's Batman will spin off to his own Burton verse, right? His own Batman Beyond, if you will. And that was just going to be a separate story. And, Ben Affleck's Batman will still be on HBO Max. So I've always thought of that way. I think a lot of people just didn't understand the multiverse at this point, or didn't want to, it's a good story, right? I mean, you read a headline that says oh, he's going to be the new Nick Fury, or he's going to be the new Robert Downey Jr., or he's replacing, it's just a great headline, and people click on that link and stuff like that. So I didn't believe that at all. To me, when they mean multiverse, they mean multiverse. There is no replacing. They all coexist at the same time. And if there's future stories to be had with these characters, they can come back and reprise their roles as those characters. But it's great to see that she liked that, because I think, she agrees. But that's pretty much it for the tinfoil. There's the last one that I wanted to talk about, and it's Jared Leto calling Zack Snyder a madman. And you're like, what? What did he say? Or you're going to have to hear this and let me know.
Restore the Snyderverse. That's a great hashtag. Big love to Zack Snyder. He's a legend and a madman. And I really like that guy.
Yes, he called Zack Snyder a madman, but in a loving way, right? And he also said he loved that hashtag, restore the Snyderverse. It's a good hashtag. He praises Zack Snyder. He really likes that. He really loves that guy. So that's awesome. And a lot of people who've worked with Zack Snyder really loves and digs the guy. And will essentially, if Zack Snyder needs him for something, they always say they want to come back. I mean, just recently, Christina Rand said that Zack Snyder called her up. Hey, you want to work on Army of the Dead? And she said yes immediately. She didn't even have to ask. Yes, it's a yes. Connie Nelson, it's a yes. It's always and Ben Affleck himself, it's a yes. I'm coming back for that. So definitely Restore the Snyderverse does help a lot of all these people, and they're really excited for what Zack Snyder had in store. And definitely for Jared Leto to tell me he's a madman, and it's just like exactly the type of director he likes, because he's got ideas of his own to get that Joker killing Robin scene somewhere, and just to have him be back as Joker, and Zack Snyder's excited to work with him. They have so much in common in terms of like, let's just take it far. Let's go farther and further. Let's go out of the box. Let's do things that people will be like, what? Like shocking, shocking stuff. And that's great. Why? Because it always trumps up conversation, speculation, discussion. I mean, a lot of these movies, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, for instance, are still being talked about years after. Sure, there's some negativity, people are negative towards it, but there's also people positive towards it. It drives controversy. Controversy drives discussion. Discussion drives the brand. The brand drives the movies, and ultimately it makes for a product that will be always talked about over and over and over. And Deborah Snyder does say that that's the kind of movies that they want to make. And I love those kind of movies, because it really makes you go back to those films. You look it over, you're turning over, you're turning on the sides, you're trying to look at every single facet of that diamond, and you want that type of quality every single time. And Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be just that. So hopefully that expands out more, right? You shine a light through that diamond, all the facets glow, a lot of rays come out, and the Snyderverse can be restored, and we can appreciate the art that the Snyders give us. And I think all the cast and crew definitely appreciates that art as well. So he's definitely a madman, but we love him. So that's about it. That's pretty much it for all the topics of the day. Now let's get into the Ping Pong Flix members' questions and comments. Like I said, if you'd like me to read your comment or question on the video for the next video, please comment and question down below, but be sure you join as a member as well. All right. Let's get into the comments and question. The first one is coming from David Feldman. Did you happen to see that one warehouse scene in a little movie called Batman v Superman? Yeah, we are going to get Ben's the Batman. Make the Batflick movie. Eric Blake, I hope the March announcement will be something like Zack Snyder's Justice League to be released on Blu-ray and 4K on Thanksgiving weekend. The perfect Christmas present, plus enough time to assess the film's domination on HBO Max. Yes? Yeah, I agree. I think, like I said, a lot of people wanted to, like, I want it now. But if you let it breathe on HBO Max, I think it really could show how much success HBO Max could be, and how much success Zack Snyder's Justice League could be if it gives a little time to breathe on there. But that's my opinion. I'll say this: the gross profit being so low for Shazam is largely due to Sujihara Emmerich stupidly releasing it smack dab between Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. Those two films were already released close to each other, and most people won't rapidly go to movie after movie after movie in the theaters, so close together. In the end, even Captain Marvel aside, Shazam didn't really have much life in theaters because of how soon after its release Endgame opened. In the end, it reflects on the rank stupidity of the Sujihara Emmerich regime. That said, of course, the question is whether or not Hamada was okay with the release date. I'd somehow imagine had he pointed out the problems with the release date, it very well could have been moved to somewhere better. Eric Blake, I've long learned to pretty much trust Dave's sources. In this case, I guess we can infer that Alfred will not be in Zack's Justice League 2, etc., and therefore in my DCEU Batman Beyond concept with Bruce Kent taking the mantle as half Kryptonian bats, I suppose Alfred can't be the mentor figure any more than Bruce Wayne. So, who do you think would be left to be the real ideal mentor to help Bruce Kent be the new Bat of Gotham? It would be interesting to have J.K. Simmons' role in the Gordon in the role. Maybe we finally see a DCEU Lucius Fox. Imagine James Earl Jones or Denzel Washington or Keith David in the role. Heck, perhaps Zack will bring in Lucius in JL2 to fill the void of Alfred, assuming he's not in JL1. Well, I don't know. Why not the other Robin? Why not Carrie Kelly? Why not she train the young Bruce Kent? And who's saying to say Bruce Kent will take up the mantle of Batman? Maybe things have changed and he'll just be Superman. I don't know. The Eric Blake, the funny thing is I love to see Danny DeVito cast as Oswald Cobblepot again, but not the Penguin we saw in Batman Forever, mainly because he's kind of dead. But it would be awesome to take a cue from J.K. Simmons coming back as a different J. Jonah Jameson than before as the MCU Jameson. So Danny DeVito as a Cobblepot, who's a Gotham mob boss and owner of the classic nightclub in the comics, maybe even the DCU Cobblepot in Batfleck's film miniseries or whatever. Yeah, he could just be a cameo, definitely. Okay, Keith, random tinfoil theory. We know Ryan Choi works with Silas Stone at Star Labs in Zack Snyder's Justice League. What if the scene in the trailer where Silas sacrifices himself to try and destroy the Mother Box also gives birth to Ryan Choi as the Atom? Much like how BVS backdoored Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, Zack Snyder's Justice League is supposed to backdoor Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and the Atom. Thoughts? Yeah, it does. Like he said, you're right. He does say that he planted seeds for the future defenders of the Earth in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and definitely Ryan Choi as the Atom will be one of them. So yes, I do believe that the Nightmare Future, the Atom as a hero will be present, definitely, and also the other people as well. Bowl of Indomie, Chris, I think we should make your spreadsheet into a big billboard in front of Warner Brothers building to get into their numbskull. There was a question, but I think because I commented on it, it disappeared. There was a question from Big Rooster, and well, he was kind of giving me shade for putting out that numbers, and it was in the wrong way. Now, and I was like overblowing it out of proportion. Now, I did mention that yes, you're right. Those ticket sales, you only get a portion of it. Warner Bros. Only get a portion of ticket sales, right? And they get less of a portion internationally. I said all that, and that's the reason why I call it gross profit-ish. I didn't say net profit, right? The difference between for youngins, gross profit is like before taxes, before all that stuff you have to take out. Net profit is where you put your money in your pocket. That's your net profit money. So I didn't want to calculate net profit because there are so many different ways that theaters can take a portion of that, and it would be a lot more difficult to calculate that. So I just went by gross profit because I can it was just to visually see how each movie performed against each other, not this way but this way. So and if you don't understand that, look up gross profit versus net profit, then you'll understand that. If you've done taxes, you'll definitely know what gross profit, net profit is. I hope. Bolavin no me. Here's your bro, Chris. He's your bro. Just give Dave a call about the whole thing. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I kind of think I know how he's trying to relay certain things, but without getting into trouble. I think, and he's dropped some great stuff before. But if there's anybody that you should trust in terms of the Snyder stuff, it's Dave the Film Junkie. Raj Rudolph, great analysis, Chris, as always. I agree with you. Let Zack handle the world-building, continuous event storyline on HBO Max to keep subscribers glued, but also let other directors tell their own stories, which lightly fit into the multiverse and elseworlds in the cinemas. Well said, yeah. Definitely, I agree with that. Have them just keep going, keep continuing, and we're going to build our own little Snyderverse over here on HBO Max. Brandon Hayes, yes, Warner Brother Pictures is trying to kill the hype for Snyder Cut with the release of it on DVD Blu-ray. If it succeeds, it will derail everything they're trying to do now with this multiverse thing. If the Snyder Cut succeeds across the board and their multiverse and the Batman fails, or does lukewarm in terms of numbers, they're dead in the water as a company. Also, I think the DVD Blu-ray thing is because they know people will pirate it, and regardless. The Mandalorian was widely popular and still the most pirated streaming series online to date. So anything is possible. Honestly, like I said before, I'm just thankful to finally get this 4-hour cut. It will be great. Finally, we will get see what was teased in BVS and get some sense of completion. I do get mad sometimes at what could have been. In fact, I bet all of this was storyboarded and drawn out in advance in 2016. I hope for two things: a detailed comic expansion and a public release of all these story treatments and photos that created. I can tell you that definitely it has been all detailed. That they have a whole. He knew exactly where this was going to go. I can tell you that. Yeah, I'm just happy with the Snyder Cut. And if we don't get more, I'll accept that. I just want to see the air cut next, then I'll be done. Warner Brother Pictures pissed in their own soup and tarnished their brand for these comic films the day they gave Jeff Johns all the power they gave him. It has been downhill since. That guy's an idiot, and all this crap is in fact his fault. Every time Ray Fisher roasts him online, I just cheer because it all becomes clear why everything changed so much. He deserves it, and I get the feeling that the cast and crew that work with Zack feel the same way too. I think Wonder Woman 1884 shows us that Warner Brothers is all in on goofy, shiny, and funny, and the studio mandate ain't changing anytime soon. The cul-de-sac comment and the fact that Jeff still works with Warner Brothers is all about ego and the refusal to just admit that they were just wrong. So I'm not surprised that Warner Brothers Pictures is sneakily trying to undermine the Snyder Cut with a physical media release. Yeah, and like all things, we have to make sure Zack Snyder's Justice League is successful so that the top heads can overrule those guys from trying to keep it, contained as just a one movie, right? Doobie, if Ava doesn't do New Gods, let's get Guillermo del Toro. Oh yeah, okay, I like that one. That's a great suggestion, Guillermo del Toro. I know he wanted to do Justice League Dark, but I think he'll be cool for New Gods. Do you like Shin Godzilla? I like Shin Godzilla now. I think I appreciate it more now than when I first watched it in theaters. When I first watched it in theaters, it's like any Godzilla film. It's like, I want more Godzilla. I want more Godzilla. And, and then it turned out to be more of a political analogy to the Japan's government and how dysfunctional they are and how many hoops and ladders they have to go through in order to get something done, right? So, but now as I rewatch, I appreciate for what it was trying to say more than the actual Godzilla scenes. Like it's more of a drama and a political thriller than an actual Godzilla film for me. Great box office breakdown. I love seeing the numbers and hearing them explained. For all the success people claim Shazam and Birds of Prey, they have nothing to show for it. Yeah, it's kind of funny that someone today, someone asked a scooper today, I don't want to say the name, but said that, Grace was saying that, Birds of Prey wasn't successful and the studio's not going to consider it. And then this person who really loved Birds of Prey says, no, they're lying because it was a critical success and Warner Brothers likes it. Well, I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and if that's what they're looking at, it's right now it's certified fresh at 75%. So it's not a huge critical success like they said. And I want to add that critical success does seem to pay the bills. It doesn't. I mean, sometimes it'll pay the bills when there's enough ticket sales to reflect that critical success, but it's just a review. They're looking for box office money. They want money, right? And no matter how sweet talking these bloggers and reviewers can tell them, if it doesn't add to money, they ain't going to do anything about it, anything more about it. They're going to be like, what did we do wrong? And how do we get this money with the critic success? You know, it's like that. That's so. I thought that was kind of a weird thing for that scooper to say. It almost seems like there are more just throwing shade at Grace Randolph rather than just thinking about, looking at the actual factual data and giving an actual, a real good answer to that. So I don't know. But Doobie, if Batfleck gets sent to Arkham after Deathstroke exposes identity to the public, that makes sense. It also sounds similar to Green Arrow Escape from Supermax, which I still hope gets made, or accurately wish gets made. I just wonder what Batfleck escapes, how he'll take all his assets and resources back. He'll be purely Batman at that point, since he would be publicly disgraced and now a fugitive. Didn't you get the memo? I don't know. Yeah, it does sound like the Green Arrow Escape from Supermax. In fact, that was kind of like the basis for certain things like the Arkham Asylum, the Batman Arkham, what was it, Suicide Squad Arkham? I forgot what it was called, that animated movie, and also the Arkham games and stuff like that, Raid, whatever. But it's a kind of idea of having that tight space and trying to escape, and you're just like, you have to do everything possible to survive. There's a lot of movies like that. It's a survival horror, survival thriller, but with a little bit of superhero stuff in there, which is awesome. I don't know how he's going to escape. I could probably imagine that it's perhaps someone's going to help him. Imagine Carla Gugino, like she's Catwoman, and she brings him in a suit or something like that. I would imagine that there's still some allies out in the world that would definitely try to help him in that sort of fashion. So I don't know. Doobie, Joel Manganiello indicated that when he told us told us what Ben's movie would have been, systematic dismantling of Batfleck's life, including killing everyone close to him. Yeah. And he only has like one person close to him, and that's Alfred. Maybe Gordon as well. Yeah, probably. Maybe Gordon as well. Kal-El of Krypton. Hearing that Danny DeVito might be back in The Flash sounds very strange, as the Penguin died and Batman Returns. Like any time travel story, this multiverse idea could get very convoluted and create loads of plot holes. I do hope they get it right. However, knowing that Jim Lee has overview on this puts me somewhat at ease. And like I said, they just said Danny DeVito, so I don't know if it really truly means Penguin, but it could just mean like Danny DeVito playing as a certain person, like Eric Blake had said earlier, another character or something, and it's just a cameo because he was in a Burtonverse, and not as Penguin, like another character. A Marvel movie came out in 2020, New Mutants. Oh yeah, you're right. New Mutants did come out, and there were at least comic movies in theaters last year, with Bloodshot being the fourth comic book movie. I totally forgot about that Vin Diesel movie. Unpopular opinion, I think they go like this from best quality to worst. New Mutants, Bloodshot, Wonder Woman 1984, Birds of Prey. I just realized 3 out of 4 were female led. I never watched New Mutants yet, and I never watched Bloodshot yet, so I can't tell. I don't have any idea in terms of quality for that. James Lex, hello Chris, I have no question, but I'd like to just say that I hope you had a great Christmas and wish you all even greater 2021. Keep up the outstanding work. Thank you so much, James Lex. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well. Francis Louis Rayla, hi Chris, I agree to your comment regarding the bad effect in box office of trying to de-Snyderize DC film. Shazam and Birds of Prey were advertised as light and just happy films, Marvelized, emphasizing they are moving away from their first film's overall theme and tone. They put Wonder Woman 84 as something viewers could decide for themselves if they want to see it as a part of the Snyderverse or not. I think that burnt a bit of public's excitement. For heavy fans, we understand the prospect of multiverse, but casual moviegoers don't. My friends always ask me, so where's all this going? What exactly with Affleck and Patterson's Batman? Wonder Woman 1984 seemed to not connect with BVS. Why it seems that the Suicide Squad is now a sequel to Heirs. P.S. I think Shazam, Birds of Prey, and Wonder Woman 1984 would do better in public's perspective if Warner Bros. Just stick with the universe building. P.P.S. I wish I watched Birds of Prey again, first time since I watched it in IMAX, and I appreciate it more now. Love Harley's gymnastic fight choreography. I also appreciated the crazy flow of story chronologically wise. And it kind of made me want to watch Birds of Prey HBO Max series. They should have titled it with Harley Quinn. No need for story adjustment, and will do better in the box office. Yeah, I know they tried to change it late in the game where they call it like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I agree with you. It should have been that. I think that should have been the title straight out the bat instead of like Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I think it should have just been Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I don't know if it would sell more tickets, but I think that just makes a lot more sense in terms of when you watch the movie. But, they tried to do something different and, it didn't pan out. But yeah, I think it would work as an HBO Max series. In fact, it'll probably be best for future that's how it goes. So hopefully, hey, you never know. Black Canary series could actually be happening. RX Gundam fan 2. I really am hoping that Zack's Justice League explodes in popularity and is so successful that HBO Max and AT&T decide to bring him back and establish a better DCEU and have connectivity that fans want. Even casual people that I talk to ask me, how does this fit in the DCEU? Because Marvel has made it so normal that regular people get it, so why not give it to us? Things can still be director driven, but like Chris said, have Zack there to kind of weave it together and make a cohesive universe in the multiverse. Hell, I'd even be happy if they could take the DCEU away from Warner Brothers and just have HBO Max take over the DCEU from now on. And Warner Brothers just keeps all their other movies. That would be so perfect. Yeah, that would be kind of cool in the real world. In the fantasy world, really, because Warner Brothers is taking care of HBO Max. That's the bad part. I liked it when it was two different companies. When Warner Max, two divisions. Warner Max was creating for HBO Max. Warner Brothers was creating for theaters. But because of COVID, they had to consolidate, and ultimately decided to consolidate this way. But like I said, hopefully they can overrule some things and shape it even better, perhaps. Peril, we should tweet to Jason Kylar and ask him to release it later. And I think, ultimately, I think like everything else, we just got to wait and see how Zack Snyder's Justice League does. And maybe everybody else is waiting to see how Zack Snyder's Justice League does. And it's going to be up to us to make it successful. So please, again, tell all your friends, tell all your family members, tell everybody to go check out Zack Snyder's Justice League when it comes out in March. But you may not have to. I think the marketing is going to start next month, right? February, beginning of February, with a giant, like a trailer or something, and some awesome marketing push for it. Everybody will know what Zack Snyder's Justice League is and will be curious enough to watch it, I hope. All right. That is it. That is it for all the comments and questions. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of DC content and movie shows and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.